Studio J in Atlanta, where we get set for Game 2 of our Thursday night double dip. Kyle Kuzma.
Boy, a star right there, Chuck. He a star.
And the Lakers.
You don't know that yet, Jack.
I know it.
On his way. On his way, Chuckster.
I can see it, Chuck.
Well, that's a star right there.
Yes, I agree.
To take on Russell
Big
Westbrook.
star.
Ernie, I got a great question
and the
for you.
Thunder.
For Ernie?
You have a great question.
How do you know it's great?
Because Ernie asked a question earlier.
Okay.
And so now you
Just
have a
gonna
great
repeat it?
question.
I'm going to repeat Ernie's question.
Oh,
All right.
It's Ernie's great question. Okay.
So, Ernie, you asked us earlier,
Yes.
you said the Indiana Pacers got the second or third best record in,
Number 3 in the East coming in.
and you said, why don't people consider them contenders?
Why isn't anybody talking about him?
Because you just saw why right there tonight. Because they can't beat Boston, they can't beat Milwaukee, and they can't beat Philly, they can't beat Toronto. Like Kenny said, they're a nice collection of players, but they can't beat. This is just my person.
They're 1-1 with Boston. They're 1-2 now with Philly.
I'm talking in a 7-game series.
Okay, all right.
They can't beat them top 4 teams.
Well, yeah, and you know, the biggest thing that, you know, I thought is just as great as Victor Oladipo. He's an NBA All-Star. But against those 4 teams, he's the second best player on the floor, you know, in 7 games. He will have nights where he could be the best player on the floor. But, you know, Embiid, Giannis, and Kawhi are top 3 players. They're the top 3 out of maybe 5 in basketball. They're one of the top 5 guys in basketball. So 3 of the top 5 guys in basketball are in the Eastern Conference. That's the only difference.
And I think Oladipo, you know, he is played like an all-star at times, but I think he has more 6 for 20s than he has miraculous games. I think if he can step it up just a little more on a consistent basis, then maybe they have a shot.
And I don't think that's enough. And Underdog just told me a stat. They're only 9-9 against teams above 500 in the NBA.
Right. Against Boston and Philly and Milwaukee.
And Toronto.
And Toronto, they are 3-6 now with this loss to Philadelphia.
So just to answer your question, Ernest.
All right. Yeah, I asked you a question, and you asked me a question, and here are the highlights.
Great young player, though.
So Reggie Miller with...
Man up.
There go my man Sergi.
He was there when you was there?
Yeah.
You just know anybody who's rubbing somebody's back.
No, he gives me massages during the summer.
I know he does. You in the steam rooms.
with a low-kai bracelet.
He don't get a bracelet, though.
Again, Embiid working on that lower back, which we thought it might keep him out of the game, but he did play.
He's a little dramatic, too, so we never know what's happening.
22, 13, and 8 on the night.
Way to play through it, big dog.
Yeah, he said he's a warrior. I know that because he told me.
He didn't tell you. He told Roz Gold on Woody.
You know, I'm a warrior. I'm here for my team.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yeah. That dude is hilarious.
Warriors come out to play.
You can't tell people you're a warrior.
People got to tell you that.
Yeah. And you can't tell people you're a leader.
Oh,
okay.
damn.
Oh, now his head might hurt.
Man up, man up.
So it's a 67-59 Philadelphia lead, and there's Embiid going to work.
Back look all right there, I'm kidding.
Because he's a warrior.
He's say.
Is he a Golden State Warrior?
Thaddeus Young knocks down the 3, so they're trying to get back in it, down 6.
Oh, good move, Jermaine.
Oh.
Butler there, and then
I really hope
Embiid.
I really hope the Sixers get themselves together, man.
They're getting it together.
Yeah, but I'm saying, listen.
Look at that.
They got 8 out of their last 11 games.
Well, they should, though. They should. Like, they're in the conversation, the best team in the East, man.
Oh.
Yeah, no question. It's starting to show.
All they got to do is keep playing and stop worrying about who's doing what.
That's exactly right, Shaq.
Let's play. It's everybody's team. Oh, give me that.
What is nice pass.
Just got to get it up sometime, Tariq.
Sabonis there and Tyreek Evans there. The 10-0 run.
Come on, pass the ball.
Yeah, he
Pass it.
found it.
That ball should have
Scala.
top of the
top of the key.
Thank you.
I would agree.
And the Philadelphia 76ers, as they begin this 12-game stretch against teams with winning records. And step 1, pretty easy, 120-96. That's an impressive win on the road at the Fieldhouse over the minutes in the books. One of my favorite places in the NBA, the Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Great place to watch a ball game and Jimmy Butler.
Why don't you move to Indiana if you like it that much?
I'm just saying it's a great arena.
It is.
It is. It's a shrine. It's a shrine to the game of
Ernie.
basketball. It is a shrine.
You got to live in Indiana, though.
To the game of basketball. I'm just saying. The shrine to the game of basketball. Welcome, everybody. American Express Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley. We didn't know for sure if Joel Embiid was going to play, bothered by a bad back, but he's been out there. What are you doing?
I'm putting on some cologne.
You putting on some what?
Cologne.
Let me just say this about the Philadelphia 76ers. They've got to be the stupidest organization in the history of sports.
Why?
You got a franchise player who's got a bad back, who's injury prone, and you got him out. He can barely walk, and you got him out there playing in a regular season game. You have to be the stupidest organization.
They sat him out for a year.
Dude, he's hurt.
I'm just saying, but
Man
they
up,
sat
he
him
ain't
out.
hurt.
No, dude.
You walk on that court, you play. I don't want to hear that.
The guy's left. No, listen.
They can't be stupid. They sat him out for a year.
No, that was 2 years ago. He's played the last couple of years.
Chuck.
But I'm saying,
Chuck.
why would you gave the guy $150 million. He's got a bad back. He's clearly laboring. Why would you play him? Kenny, when you're hurt.
Does he have a mouth, Chuck? Does he have a mouth?
No, sometimes coaches and owners have to protect you from your own stupidity. There was many times I played.
I disagree with that.
Well, we can disagree. There's many times I played in a basketball game, Ernie, and I shouldn't have played.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah, sometimes
That's
you
why
have
I walk like I do.
And first of all, anybody watching the game can see the guys laboring.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with the fact that you can never ask a player who worked their salt.
Well, don't play them.
Should you play? Because they always go, well, 50% of me is better than blah, blah, blah. You think that way. Even role players or whatever.
Listen,
others.
If he's hurt, he shouldn't play.
However, I wouldn't call them. I would say that they've been
fault.
very protective of this guy.
But yeah, but this is a difference. This is a new injury. He's clearly laboring.
So he might not come out the second half, but
but why put him out there anyway? You don't take no chance with your franchise guy in the middle of the season.
Oh, you
listen.
You can't be soft either.
Yeah, you can't be soft.
Listen, the
You
guy
can't just take a chance.
The guy's hurt. You can see it.
All right, now
I watched the first half. The guy's hurt.
Now you're gone, but you're not. I'm not going to have you to the point where you're soft enough to say that we can't fight through being hurt or being injured.
He is one of the American Express teammates for Philadelphia as we look at the scoring breakdown in the first half. Jimmy Butler with 13, Embiid had 9, also had 4 rebounds and 5 assists. He went 4 for 11 from the floor, and Ben Simmons is 0 for 3 from the floor. Does have 4 assists, 5 boards. And let's shift.
Ben Simmons doesn't have to score to be a good player. Like that, there's a difference. There's certain guys.
Don't you think he needs to improve his shot?
No. Well, I think he could. I think he could score. I'm not saying he doesn't have to. I'm not saying he doesn't need to. You're right. He could. But what makes Ben Simmons great to me is that he creates a pace for the Philadelphia 76ers that everyone can play comfortable by. He does the same things that Jason Kidd did. He does the same thing that Steve Nash, the same thing that Steph Curry does in Golden State. When they're in their game, they play at a pace that no matter what you do, they're going to play that way.
However,
that is his strength and his superpower.
However, come playoff time, that pace is going to slow down, and he's going to have to hit shots and score points.
And that's what happened to him against the Celtics.
Boston, yeah.
And Kenny, I'm going to agree with you and disagree.
Okay.
He can be a good player, not being able to shoot. He can't be a great player.
Okay.
Like, he can be a good player, but he cannot be a great player until he learns how to shoot. Because Shaq is 100% correct. Once you play against the elite defensive team, like he did against the Celtics, they're going to make him score.
Let's go to Jimmy Butler while we have time. What you saw in the first half?
What's he complaining about?
Well, no, I could.
The check didn't have pictures of him.
I can understand why a guy like Jimmy Butler complains, because he's a very talented guy, and he's probably just saying to the coaching staff, "Hey, I want you to use my talents." However, me and Chuck played with a guy named Cedric Ceballos that can give you 30, 40 anytime. He never complained. This is what he did. You just move without the basketball, and then when you get the basketball, you produce. So I don't know, his plays or whether or not called, but when you get the ball and you got a high percentage shot, take it. I like how you play. I like the energy you play with. But don't complain about shots. Just move and play basketball. Cedric Ceballos, I played him for 3 years. Never, ever complain about plays. And at nights, he'll give you 30, 40, and 50. Am I right, Chuck?
And let me tell you something. I love Cedric Ceballos. And one thing Jimmy Butler has to understand, when I was a great player in Philadelphia, we sucked. And I had to score every single basket every night. It was awful. And we didn't win. Jimmy Butler is a really terrific player, but he's never won or been on a really good team. When you play with better players, other players are going to get the ball. You get, like when I told you, Dan Marley and Kevin Johnson, when I got those guys, it was like I had went to heaven, which I'm never going, number one.
Well, they got you, actually.
Yeah.
Because they were already there.
You know that for a fact.
Oh, it's going to be hot where I'm going, Ernie. It's going to be hot. And you know what I'm going to do some mornings? I'm going to go over to Shaq's house and wait.
You're right, Chuck.
But Jimmy has to understand, Ernie, and the Celtics are going through this right now. You get less shots when you play with better players. When you're on a bad team, you get all the shots because you're the one who sucked the least.
Hey, you might want to invest in some.
Just in case. You might need this later, yes.
Or some asbestos. Maybe you can invest in that.
You gonna come to my house, Chuck?
Hey, Shaq, get up. Let's go play golf.
Welcome to the American Express Halftime Report. American Express, the official card of the NBA.
Well, last night, the Celtics snapped a 3-game losing streak, and Kyrie Irving was masterful. 27 points, career high, 18 points. He walked the walk after doing a whole lot of talking, and then after the game, he did some more talking about a particular phone call he had with his former teammate.
I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him.
Darn Kenny, it's our weekly visit with Shaquille O'Neal, who knows something about teammates breaking up, very famously. What do you take of Kyrie talking about and telling the world about the conversation he had with LeBron?
I mean, I think it was big of him to let the world know he was thinking, but a lot of times stuff like that you should keep to yourself. I think the problem with most of us, especially when we're in our prime, we don't have enough time because of our egos to just sit down and have a conversation. Especially when you got all the other outside factors. Like, I hate hearing whose team is it. Is it Keem's team? Is it Kenny's team? Like, that right there will break. Rather than, having a conversation. Once me and him had that conversation, come to me at the beginning of the game. I'm probably not going to be hitting free throw in the fourth quarter. You do what you do in the fourth quarter. I rebound, I set picks and get you up. So once you have that conversation and stop worrying about whose team is it or who does this and who does that, because believe it or not, and Kenny knows this, you're not going to win a championship without the others. So, like, you could average 20, 30, but if you don't have the others hitting 9 threes and hitting the clutch three when Penny Hardaway jumps at the pump fake, you're not going to win the championship anyway. So everybody just has to play their role. Who cares who's getting the most credit? Like, when I first came in, I wanted to be the man, but guess what? Mike, Barkley, Malone, David Robinson, sometimes you just got to, wait your turn. But be careful what you ask for, because when you want to be the man, you better be able to control it and, be able to handle it. But again, it was, commendable of for him to say, I apologize and all that. But some of that stuff you just, have to keep to yourself.
Yeah, I agree with keeping it to yourself. I mean, it doesn't benefit. I'm not sure who it benefits by being exposed now. I'm not sure. But being an other, so to speak, you respect the guy when he's not trying to be the guy.
Right.
Because you have more of the offensive load doesn't really make you the guy either. Because you get 30 doesn't really make you the guy. It just what you do around it, how you lead, how your work ethic, what you don't say, that makes you the guy. So because if a guy had averaged 20 rebounds a game, does that make him the guy?
Right. Every situation is different, right?
It does, right. So what it is your respect comes from your work ethic and what you, most of the time, what you don't say. And then everyone starts to say, he's the guy. You don't have to say it.
Funny you mentioned respect.
And the problem with Boston is a very simple fix. Very simple fix. Kyrie, as the leader, should come in and say, I realize I saw what you did last year, and I want you to do that. Don't hold back from me. I want you to do that. When I get you the ball, do what you did last year. I'm going to do what I do. Now you got two powerhouses playing. See, the problem is these guys, they're like, hey, we can play. Now that Kyrie and, the other guys back, you want us to go back, and they don't want to go back, and they shouldn't go back. But Kyrie, as the leader, he should make it easy for himself. It was easy for me, rather than try to shoot through the double, Kick it to Horace. Horace Grant gonna hit that wide open 15-footer 7 out of 10 times. It makes it easier for Kyrie, so he don't have to dribble and try to get 27 every night. If you got young guys that want to roll, get it to them.
How do you? Shaquille broke it down before we go into Diesel dunks, so simply. He broke it down one night. He's like, well, how do you get 30 points? You get 6 points a quarter. You get 6 points a quarter. That's 24, and you get to the free throw line. That's it. You got to make 3 baskets in a quarter. That's it. If you're a great player, you should be able to get 3 baskets every quarter, and then get to the free throw line and
in
get
a quarter. You don't
right.
need to get 30 in a quarter.
That's it.
All right, well, it's your time to shine, Big
Let's do it.
Let's break out the sheet. Let's go.
All right, Kenny, I apologize.
Diesel's up.
I apologize.
Jared, I apologize to you for beating you up a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry.
Oh, the therapy sessions,
Yes.
you'll have to pay for those, too.
I should have realized that
He's the man. That's what makes him the man.
Number 10, DeAndre Brimbrae rocks the cradle and throws down the nasty reverse dunk
that was
on
nice.
the break.
I used to do that on a regular. We need to see. No, that was a Kenny Smith dunk. No, that was my dunk back in the day. I'm telling you, Shaq.
Oh, brother.
I made that dunk famous.
I know, I saw you.
Thank you.
Number 9, Kyle Kuzma drives through the lane and throws down the tomahawk on the Bulls.
I love when guys go by the rim.
Ooh.
Watch it goes by it. It keeps going.
Oh, don't look at the rim.
Yes, go by it. Make sure it didn't pop out.
I see you. Okay. Number 8, Ben Simmons powers past Taj Gibson and finishes strong at the rim with the one-handed jam.
I think the
watch out,
push-out
Josh.
was, that
wasn't no push. Stop. That's LSU. We don't need to push.
How do you like the headband?
Love, strength, University.
Yeah, I do
like the way.
I do like the headband, Ben.
Number 7, Anthony Davis cuts back door and throws it down over Kevin Durant.
Oh.
Don't you jump.
That was one of the best games.
Don't you jump.
That was a great game. They can look like the Denver
Number
Nuggets
6,
uniform.
Luka Doncic dribbles past DeMar DeRozan for the 2-hand flush in traffic.
Yeah, he's kind of weak.
Where's he from, Doncic?
Luka?
From Europe.
From what part of Europe?
Slovenia. Number 5, Giannis Euro steps past Mike Conley and stuffs on the whole damn team.
Oh, man.
Man, that's my MVP right there, Kenny.
He finishes in the lane like close to you. Once it's there, it's done.
That's why he's a new Superman. I gave it to
Superman!
Number 4, Al Horford fills the lane and posterizes Serge Ibaka.
Then he looked at him.
Oh, don't look at him.
Then he looked at him.
Don't look at him.
Then he looked at him.
Ooh.
Then he looked at him.
Ooh, what you doing? What are you doing? In defense.
In defense.
Number 3, James Johnson drives the lane and throws down the Number 1, Jermichael Green pump fakes, drives and baptizes Ersan Ilyasova, then stares at the body.
Okay.
Ilyasova.
Close.
Baptism.
Ilyasova. Savo. Ilyasova.
Oh, my God.
Disrespectful.
That wasn't
Ilyasova.
He woke up wet. He got up wet.
I can read.
He got up wet. That wasn't baptism.
You maybe could read, but
Listen,
speaking.
But listen, my homeboy Justin put it ebonically too.
Yes, sir.
Ilyasova.
Yes, sir. Ilyasova.
Thanks, Justin.
Some read an A as an O. I guess that's what Jack does. That
Austin, y'all get right, man, and go have a meeting, man. That's all it takes. Just one team dinner. Everybody say what's on their mind, and then just get it cracking.
Get it cracking.
They had a team meeting after the
No.
Milwaukee loss in December, and they said everything was fixed.
Not that type of team meeting. A team meeting with us and the fellas. We at the crib. We watching Netflix. We
Netflix and chill
we
with the
drinking
team?
that drink. We just chilling. We talking smack. We get into some arguments.
No
and
doubt.
Somebody get them and say, nah, cut that out. Boom, 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 boom. That's all. It's simple.
Jack?
Let your ego go.
Kenny?
Yes.
You guys got to go.
Okay. Let your ego go.
Okay.
Sorry, brother.
Kenny, thank you very
Thank
much.
you, brother.
Again, I
Thanks for having me.
apologize, sir. I apologize.
I'm the man, Jerry. I'm the man.
Oh, irony. It's so fun. We'll
they
come
went
back
to
with
London?
highlights from London. Dramatic win by the Wizards.
People flying to London in the middle